Brazil's former president Jair Bolsonaro has applied for a 6-month U.S. tourist visa, his lawyer has told the BBC. Mr. Bolsonaro has been staying in Florida since the 30th of December. The former president plans to stay in the U.S. while immigration officials process the visa. He is under investigation in Brazil after rioters stormed key government buildings early this month. Mr. Bolsonaro has voiced regret for the unrest, but denies he caused it. The former president has devoted 34 years of his life to public service and would like to take some time off, his lawyer, Felipe Alexandre, told the BBC in a statement. Mr. Bolsonaro initially traveled to the U.S. on an A1 visa for diplomats and heads of state, which expires after 30 days. He came to the U.S. ahead of his leftist successor Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva's 1 January inauguration. The former president hopes to clear his head and enjoy being a tourist in the United States for a few months before deciding what his next step will be, said Mr. Alexandre, who works for AG Immigration, an immigration law firm. U.S. immigration officials received Mr. Bolsonaro's request for a B1B2 tourism visa last Friday, he said. On the 8th of January, thousands of the former president's supporters attacked federal buildings in Brasilia following his defeat in the 2022 general election. Mr. Bolsonaro has faced criticism for the riots where protesters, spurred by unsubstantiated claims of election fraud, broke past security and invaded Brazil's presidential palace, Congress, and Supreme Court. The former right-wing leader, who has been nicknamed the Donald Trump of the tropics because of his close ties to the former U.S. president, has been staying at the Florida home of former mixed martial arts fighter Jose Aldo. His supporters have flocked to the house in the gated community in Kissimmee, Florida, a state where a fifth of Brazilians living in the U.S. reside. Democratic lawmakers in Washington, D.C. have taken issue with Mr. Bolsonaro's stay in the U.S. In a letter sent earlier this month, dozens asked President Joe Biden to revoke any diplomatic visa Mr. Bolsonaro might hold. The United States must not provide shelter for him, or any authoritarian who has inspired such violence against democratic institutions, they wrote. Mr. Alexandre told the Financial Times on Monday that Mr. Bolsonaro bears no responsibility for the riots.